Hi everybody, Matt Bernier, Dan Illman, taking a look back at the Grade 1 Breeders' Futurity from Keeneland Racecourse Saturday afternoon. It was a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and you had a lot of 2-year-olds, big field in here. Just going to try to figure out who's really a player and who's kind of a bit of a pretender. They break from the gate, and you're going to notice early on, horse you want to keep an eye on is Free Drop Billy. You see him, he's got the white blaze, he's in about the number 9 path right now. He's going to be a little bit more forwardly placed than you would normally think because he's been coming from the back of the pack. He moves up and gets in mid-pack.
Watch Robbie Alvarado as they go into the first turn. I love the confidence. Remember, this is the first time around 2 turns. He's an inexperienced horse. He is not afraid to put this horse right in between horses. He's not afraid to split him, and then he's going to find a very comfortable spot, saving ground down towards the inside. This is a very professional horse that does not mind getting dirt in his face. He's got multiple gears. He's got a good sense of agility.
On the front end, you have Ready Prospector, who's an 83-to-1 shot in this position. Just in behind, you have Lionite, as well as 10 City. We'll touch on 10 City, unfortunately, momentarily. Just a few lengths behind that, you have Free Drop Billy, who is already much closer to the pace, I think, than many people thought he would be. Esmosh was in there, really never had any sort of a comfortable trip in that spot, no excuse. But at this point, now you're looking at things saying, if you were back in Free Drop Billy, you know stamina's there, you know distance only going to be his friend. It's a matter of can he get through.
Yeah, can he get through? But the fact that he is unfazed by being in and among horses, that's a big feather in his cap. He got steadied a little bit right there. Now, unfortunately, 10 City's going to go wrong, but Free Drop Billy gets to the outside. There's that agility I'm talking about. He's going to move from the 4 path to attack this long shot pace setter, and from here, it's basically, is there anybody coming from the back of the pack to get this horse? And the answer is no.
No, he absolutely blows the doors off this field. Now, Bravazzo for Wayne Lucas, he tries his heart out, but at this point, this was asking a lot, and Free Drop Billy really without a sweat, and I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek because before the race, he was a washed-out mess at Keeneland on Saturday. He just buries this field, wins going away by 4 lengths for Robbie Alvarado and Dale Romans, and it's on to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, where it looks like if you're looking for a horse that 2 turns is his bread and butter, that's this horse in a nutshell.
You look at this pedigree, he is bred to go long. He's by Union Rags. There's a lot of stamina, a lot of turf influences on the bottom. We know distance isn't going to be a problem for a horse like Free Drop Billy. The problem for all the horses in this division right now is Bolt Doro for Mick Ruiz, the winner of the front runner. But I have no knocks and no holes in this performance from Free Drop Billy. This horse has always been bet like he was supposed to be a good horse. Romans persevered after a couple of losses, and I think the 2 turns was what he wanted. This is a race that he can build on. Now, maybe he's not as naturally talented as the Southern California Flash. This is a good horse, though.
$5 win mutual for Free Drop Billy. If you're looking at your exotics, you've got a $2 exacta, comes back $172.80 with a Lucas runner underneath. Hey now for the coach. And then for the try, comes back for $2, $1,966 and some change. Free Drop Billy, you brought it up. He's by Union Rags. You look at him, he's a half to Hawkbill. We know what Hawkbill's game is. It's turf and it's going about 10 miles. So distance is never going to be an issue for this horse. And you brought up the big sort of thing. We always keep talking about it these past few weeks. Bolt Doro is going to be the problem for any of these 2-year-olds. But that's immediately. Let's just try to project going forward. If you're looking at it strictly from a pedigree standpoint, he screams 10 furlongs.
He screams 10 furlongs. He's in the right hands with Dale Romans. Wouldn't it be nice for Robbie Alvarado after all of the injuries that he's gone through? He's just such an underappreciated rider.
Yeah.
With all the injuries, he's missed so many chances in the big dances. This horse, you get the feeling, just with the way he runs, again, the way that he does, not bothered at all by any kind of traffic issue. If this horse stays healthy, you're going to be hearing a lot from him next year.
Now, the other problem or concern with this race as a whole is the fig. It came back very, very slow. He only earned a 79 buyer winning here. Now, he's gone out and he's run a number of times. I think you and I and everyone tends to agree that distance is still going to be his friend, and I assume he's going to get faster and improve with the distances. But still, at the end of the day, he's 20, 21 points slower than Bolt Doro right now.
From a speed figure standpoint, he's not ready for Bolt Doro.
Right.
I think this is a horse that's still going to be a work in progress. You got to go to the Breeders' Cup. You win a race like this, you go in the Breeders' Cup, you're hoping for improvement. You'd love to win it, but you're hoping for improvement on the buyer scale. Let's get progressively faster as we start the 3-year-old campaign, sitting on that 90 buyer speed figure mark, maybe around January, February, March, and move forward from there. Remember, these horses are still filling out. They're getting bigger and stronger by the day.
Bravazzo had broken his maiden most recently at Churchill Downs.
Slow race.
Slow race. All of a sudden shows up here, and I don't know what you want to do with this because, you know, we had a big drop as far as not just distance from first to second, but speed figure, obviously. He dropped down to a 73. That's the number that your runner-up got. Is that more an indictment on the rest of this field?
I think it's mostly an indictment on the rest of this field, and I think that was kind of the question. Esmash was 7-2. He was your second choice off of a maiden win. It was a very impressive, fast maiden win, but just a maiden win. Give Me a Minute, who I liked a little bit in this spot, was 5-1. He's still a maiden, trying 2 turns for the first time. A Louisiana bred, he ran okay, but he ran his race.
Yeah.
I think behind Free Drop Billy, with perhaps the exception of Lone Sailor, I think he didn't break very well, was sort of forced wide turning into the stretch. I'm not sure what we're going to get from anybody else in this field because, to be honest, there wasn't a lot of running going on behind the winner.
And that's the thing, it's the dangerous thing to look at horses that most recently break their maiden and they look brilliant, whether it was an Esmosh or it was a Bourbon Resolution, who I didn't see any real excuse for, just didn't really run. Give Me a Minute, who's still eligible for a maiden race. All of a sudden, when the waters get deeper and you face better horses, particularly a horse that's as seasoned against good horses like Free Drop Billy is, boy, you can get exposed in a heartbeat.
Esmosh needs to be ridden more aggressively. I know he was a little bit slow out of the gate, but you got to kind of put the pedal to the metal with him. I think you were asking a lot from having him come from mid-pack in a race like this with some quality horses. I think he needs a drop in class. Maybe we get an entry-level allowance race around 2 turns at Churchill Downs, maybe a 1-turn mile, and get him back on the engine.
We'll find out if any of these horses are ready for the likes of Bolt Doro in a few weeks down at Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. But at the end of the day, Dale Romans has another good one in Free Drop Billy. He wins the Grade 1 Breeders' Futurity, earns a 79 Beyer speed figure.